your this list that you make. Do you organize it? Are there categories?
Have we met? What do you think the answer to this question?
I mean, it might have been no to both of those, but
no. This is my stream of consciousness. I'm driving to the gym in the mornings or home, and I'm listening to a podcast, and they say something that I want to remember, like make a recommendation or talking about a book or even an idea or whatever it is. And so I'll pause the podcast and open notes, and I just talk into my phone. And so
my hands are sweating.
Of and I never go back and clean it up. I just go back when I think about things. Like, what was the name of that book? And sometimes I can't decipher it because it didn't. Siri doesn't love our accents, y'all.
It's so true. Do you see Patrick's face, Mary Cheatham? He's like,
no, dude, I do the same thing. Like literally, I do the exact same thing on this podcast, driving and with podcasts. I open up notes, I voice dictate. And even when I was prepping to spend time with you all today, it was so hilarious what voice dictation did to what I said, because it wasn't at all what I intended to say. It was so off track, but that's okay. But I do the exact same thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like I need to make some changes then.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You're very organized. I don't know. Thank you. But it works. At least I feel like I can go back and find it if I have to.
Absolutely. Well, Mary Cheatham, I'm excited for right now to be sitting with two incredible leaders in our community, and one in particular who has been highly requested to be on Espresso with MC. We're very excited.
I mean, give the people what they want, right? Exactly.
Thank you, guys. It's so great to be here.
Yes. Good morning. So guys, we've got Patrick Conneely here with us this morning. Happy Friday, everybody. And for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure there are very few, if any, Patrick and his lovely wife, Laura,
I love her,
are the operators of our local Chick-fil-A franchise. Right. So they own our Chick-fil-A. They've got two precious kids, Caleb and Reagan, and they are just rocking it out. I mean, you guys, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I mean, I'm telling you, just when you think y'all service over there at Chick-fil-A can't get any better. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'll leave and I'm like, did I even go through there? But all of a sudden I have hot food. It's amazing.
It's the best solution.
So yes, so y'all are just incredible leaders. And I know that you guys are constantly learning from other people. I mean, Chick-fil-A is known for its excellent leadership training. And I know that that's something that started and was instilled in you from an early age, Patrick, from sports and all that, from your background. But I just think it's so cool to see how that's growing and how it's impacting the lives of other people in our community. So thank you.
Man, I so appreciate that. Yeah, it's such a joy. It's a joy, of course, to work with your awesome young lady, Miss Sally. She is just a great addition to our team, and she's doing amazing. Such a great fit. And it really, I think leadership training helps, but leadership selection is so important. And so in selecting team members like Sally and others on our team have really helped us just build an awesome team. And it's what we love to do, and we love serving our community. So thank you for that.
That's so interesting. I love that. And what a great way to frame it. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so Patrick, tell us about, we're going to talk to you today a little bit about leadership and kind of as a leader, if you had to just pick one characteristic that you think is really important in a leader, what would you say that would be?
And you kind of prepped me a little bit before we, got together here, and I was thinking through it, and I have to say that as I look back over time, I would say the most helpful thing as a leader is humility. And it's because the more responsibility that you get as a leader, whether you're leading yourself or leading your family, leading community, leading a business, is it becomes less and less and less about you and more about everyone else. So humility is the most helpful characteristic in leadership. And I would say second probably would be to have some courage that in those moments when the team needs you leading up front, you can do that. And it takes some courage to do that as well. But if you can get out of the way and get great results through others and select great teams and just be humble, that's the most helpful.
It's good. It's really good. It's really good. So, in understanding that and understanding kind of how you approach leadership, give us kind of what's the Cliff Notes version of your background in leadership?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think with me and like many people, it started with sports. I'm such a huge advocate for youth sports. Just the idea that it's not convenient. You don't feel great. You got homework. You got to go and you got to show up. You got to bring your best effort. You have to overcome adversity. You have to work with a diverse group of people and get great results. Yeah, I just could not be a bigger advocate of sports. It helped me so much as a young person and gave me an opportunity to go to UNC. I'm from Pensacola, Florida. It's where I grew up, but came to UNC, played football. I was a 4-year starter there, had great leadership under Coach Brown, who, of
Oh,
course, is
Matt.
back now. So it's like Back to the Future with Coach Brown. I'm waiting for 90s rap to come back. So I'll feel
Yes, I'm
cool.
so
Mary Cheatham would be real excited about that.
Right.
Hello.
So, and then, as I developed in my career, I feel like it landed in a couple different chapters. When I got out of school, I went into banking and learned very quickly that I do well in like really intense small teams that are very mission focused, that are really going for it. That's where my skills are best. We started a company called Away Med, which was part of the technology boom and bust, and raised money and lost a bunch of money, and but we learned a ton, and we were bold, and that ultimately took me to working with a larger company called Newell Rubbermaid, where I had some great experiences and got to be part of teams that, we were developing products and launching them in different places around the world. I got to travel a lot, meet different people, but eventually got to my place in my early 30s where I didn't want to be my boss or my boss's boss or what that world looked like. Laura and I met working together in Charlotte, and had similar roles, and we wanted to own a small business and have some impact in a small town. And we asked our group of people and influencers, advisors, what should we do? Where should we go? And it was suggested that we get involved with Chick-fil-A. So 12 years ago, we opened up Chick-fil-A in Morehead City, and it's been just a perfect fit for us.
12 years. Golly, 12 years.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
Well,
so
I
crazy.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. The whole youth sports thing, my parents really instilled in me as well for that leadership kind of angle. And I feel like I learned a lot of things through, even playing rec sports. I learned so many things about life through the lens of sports. And I think what's really interesting is we were talking about before we started recording is a podcast that you listened to recently that you shared with us. And it was talking about filters and viewing the world through specific different filters and frameworks, something that this podcast called cognitive bias. And I'm curious if you could kind of dive into that a little bit and kind of fill us in on your stance and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, sure. And I really think this can be helpful for everybody because I
Yeah.
think we have this common experience as we look back over 2020. I was telling you, Mary Cheatham, I think that it's felt like almost just like damage control and triage in 2020. And as a leader in my own community and in my family and my business, like I'm still trying to unpack 2020 and what it all meant and just the craziness of it. And I was looking for some inspiration in how to get sort of unstuck in the way that I was thinking. I wasn't satisfied with the level of care and intentionality I had with my business because I felt like we were just sort of in survival mode a little bit, reacting to the way the business was changing and just the safety and security of our team and guests. So I reached out to my community of operators, Chick-fil-A operators, and it was suggested I check out this book and podcast by Craig Rochelle. And he has a book he wrote that says Winning the War. The book is titled Winning the War in Your Mind. But this podcast was around having cognitive biases. And simply what that means is two people come to a situation and view it differently based on how they're viewing the world at that time. So what I mean is they may see the opportunities or challenges very differently based on where their brain has been hardwired over the last period of time. So you can have a bias towards being too optimistic where you think the opportunity is larger than it is and the cost isn't as big as it is.
Right.
Right. Or you could have a confirmation bias where you only surround yourself with people that are confirming your thought process. You get in an echo chamber, and whatever you say, everyone around you is confirming. That can be unhelpful as well. So I think that really the bottom line of the podcast and what I took away from it was understand if there's unhelpful biases that you've developed, and just, understand that, try to remove some of those, and maybe and replace them with some positive cognitive biases, which would be like, I am at my best when my team is when I'm achieving great results through my team, or when I'm not the one that has all the answers, or when I have gratitude for everything I've been given today. And if I can say that and think that, that it can really change the way I'm viewing my circumstances.
Definitely. And one of my favorite parts of the podcast, it was something like, the life you live is a reflection of the thoughts you think. And I think that the leadership you show is a reflection of the thoughts you think. So it's flipping it and changing those filters that might come across as negative in your own brain in order to better serve your team. I think that's really powerful and something big that I took from the podcast that you shared. So I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Absolutely. There is so much opportunity out there, and we live in a great community. There are challenges, but there is a lot of opportunity and a lot to be hopeful about in this coming year. So,
absolutely.
I think that's great. And I think one of the things that I would say is, I think that with these cognitive biases, or with these frameworks that already exist in each of our minds, it's not even, do you have some that aren't serving you? It's, hey, you have some that aren't serving you.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
I mean, so the point is, we all have them. And when we're talking about applying this to leadership, it's leading a team, leading yourself, leading your family, leading your friends, whatever it is, those things are relevant. And so I think that what I'd like to say is just, as folks walk away from this morning, this short little talk about this, that it brings some awareness to what's the framework that you have in your mind that you need to break down, and just pick one of them, right? Identify it, break it down, and rebuild it into something that you want. So I think that's, and I'll tell you, I mean, a framework that I tend to use a lot is, what should I be worried about? And I really mean that. And it serves me so well.
Hello, Enneagram 7.
Who could possibly be upset? Have I offended anyone? Have I dropped a ball anywhere? What should I be worried about? So I'll wake up in the morning and then I'll think for a minute, it's like I search around and then I find, I'm like, oh yeah, the worry, there it is. I'm like, come here. But what I have found is a much better question to ask. And Jordan, our coach Jordan, pushes me on this, is, how do I want to feel today?
Yeah.
I mean, darn, not what do I have to get done? Not, who do I need to worry about, or, but how do I want to feel today? And I don't know. I think that's such a great way to train your mind, to think that, that's something that you absolutely can control if you can get your mind right.
It's the airplane mask, y'all. Put it on first.
Yeah.
I think that's
right.
Might be an overused metaphor, but that's what I keep thinking of as you guys are talking.
I think that's exactly right. Well, so Patrick, as we're wrapping up here, I have two questions for you. One of them is, what are you most proud of as a leader?
Yeah, I think the past 12 years in building this organization is the thing I'm probably the most proud of, because we've seen, our vision from the beginning was it would be like a harbor. People would come in, we would launch them out, and we see them, maximizing their potential in the future. So we've tried to build this organization that's enduring towards hardships, trials, adversity, and it's resilient. And it's having a positive impact in our community. And we've done that with great people and partners. Carly Lockey at Remarkable People Solutions has been an incredible partner for us in doing that. But I think that's been my greatest achievement as a leader.
I think that's incredible. And what I want to point out to people that you might not have thought of is, if anybody here is a part of an organization, think about the fact that with a lot of organizations, your goal is to keep people with you forever. Right? Or your goal is that you're going to have that same type of relationship for forever. And what I think is so interesting about the way that you guys are so upfront about the fact that if you do it right, a lot of your people aren't going to be with you for forever. You're going to have this short time together where you're going to impact their lives, and then they're going to go on to do other things. So What is going to keep you in some sort of relationship with them for forever? And what do you learn from each other while you're together? So I love that. I think that's such an interesting, I mean, it blows my mind a little bit, because I think about when I'm building a team for longevity, right? And you are too, just in a very different way, right? That those ties are more fluid and not as not as traditional.
I like the term harbor.
That was good. Sorry.
Oh no, I like the term harbor. I'm just complimenting your.
Me too. And that's what made me think of that is, like Patrick, you referenced in the beginning that my daughter Sally is working with you guys right now. She's 14 and she's there. So for right now, Chick-fil-A and your team and you guys are a harbor where she's able to come in, learn some things, rest, work, it's able to have an impact on her. And I hope she's able to have an impact on you guys. And then she'll float back out and move on to the next stage of her life. So Meg, you're right. That's such a great analogy. Awesome. Okay. Now, Patrick.
Yes.
What is your go-to order at Chick-fil-A?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited
to know this. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can give me your healthy order or whatever, but I mean, I want to know legit, like nobody's looking. What are you getting?
Right. The grilled spicy deluxe is my go-to, and it's new and it's seasonal and it's amazing. But it's our spicy filet, but instead of fried, it's grilled, and it comes with this amazing sauce, and it is slamming.
Does it come with cheese?
My go-to right now.
Does it come with cheese? Can you add cheese on it? That's always my main question.
Oh yeah, it comes with cheese. I get the pepper jack. That's just how I roll. Yeah.
That sounds so good.
It's so good.
Okay, we'll see.
Settled. It's settled.
It's totally worth the price of admission just to learn about that sandwich. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's so good. Okay, well, Meg, will you please ask Patrick our favorite question?
Of course I will. Patrick, we ask all of our guests on Espresso with MC. This question, we did not come up with it, but we love it. So we want to ask you, what is saving your life right now?
Oh, I've got to give you two things. First, my wife, it was my birthday this weekend, and she got us out of town to the Keys. Live music, great food. They are not participating in the pandemic in the Keys at all. And that was just amazing. And I would say beyond that, something that's just been good for my soul is throwing a backpack on with some weight and going out and walking around Fort Macon or walking on the beach during the winter. Oh, love that. That is just what I need. I need that a couple times a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
We haven't heard that one yet.
That's a good one. Yeah. Maybe not putting the weight in the backpack, but I mean,
I'll put a backpack on. There's nothing in it.
Yeah. That's really good.
Water, really good. Cocktails even.
That's right. Now thank you. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Please tell Laura we said hello and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Patrick.
Great to be with y'all. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.
He's fantastic.
Man, that was really good.
It was. I always feel fired up when we talk about kind of the meaty side of leadership and team building and stuff like that. I learned so much. Yeah.
And I think that to dive right into, I think what's saving my life, I think that one of the things I took away from that conversation, and I think for any of you guys that are watching also, I feel a sense of validation and connection from hearing that somebody else is still struggling with kind of trying to untangle things from last year, and that they feel like they're I love Patrick saying that he feels like he's been in triage, because that's really kind of how I feel, like it feels like everything is jumbled up a little bit. And now we've got to figure out, the great thing is now we have an opportunity when we're putting it back together.
Exactly.
To put it the way it really is meant to go. So, it's funny. I remember earlier in the pandemic, Meg, I remember we were talking about how, when it's over, what are the things that you'll bring back, and what are the things you're like stopping to really examine, what are the things that used to be a part of our everyday lives that maybe didn't serve us anyway.
Yeah.
So now it feels like the rubber's kind of meeting the road. I know things are really opening up with the vaccinations. And so I think maybe what's saving my life is the ability to choose the framework in which I view this opportunity.
It's so good. It's exactly what you said earlier about for you or to you. I think that was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I don't exactly remember. My weeks are blurry at this point. That was the thing that was saving your life, that conversation you had with a friend. And I think that this ties in right along with it. And I think that's such a fantastic thing to hear. And I really like that you and Patrick are both leaders in our community and leaders for folks on their team, and that you both share your struggles whenever you're dealing with leadership struggles. And I think that's just as important as sharing the good things that happen.
Right.
I really appreciate that. And it makes, I don't know, it makes you feel like you're not alone, even if you're not in the same role as you guys. But I really enjoyed listening to that.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, what is saving your life right now, Meg?
Well, it is, hold on. It's an Instagram profile and it's called Have a Nice Day. And I love design and like bright colors and anything like that. And it's this girl, she's a graphic designer and like hand letterer or whatever. And it's just a bunch of the sweetest quotes. They're not cheesy. They're like very cute and bright and fun. And whenever it pops up on my feed, I just have a really great day.
I'm excited. Okay.
Have a great day.
I'm going to get all that right now.
Yes. And actually, we are in production for our next magazine. And I took one of her quotes and used the color scheme from it for our magazine. So she's inspired many things this week. So I'm excited about that.
I love some inspiration. I'm sure she'd be thrilled to know that.
I'm sure she would too.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Well, that's good. Okay. What it's called? Tell us. It's called
Have a Nice Day. And I think there's 2 Y's at the end. I could be wrong. I'll post it in the comments. But
okay. Good. Yeah. Good.
I just have to quadruple check the spelling. Yay.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to follow that. I love it.
Thank
yeah.
you.
I got some weird stuff in my feed. I need some good stuff. That sounds exciting.
Yes. Well, MC, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope that you follow this Instagram account and clear out the weird things in your Instagram.
I'm on it. I'm absolutely on it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, MC.
Talk to you soon. Bye.